Hi, welcome once again to another new video. This is SAHOO. I hope that you are all well by the grace of Almighty and you are watching here SAHOO's tutorial, and here I am again with another mock test. This is the part 2. So let's get into the video. So here is your first question on your screen, but before starting the session I would like to request all of you, please do subscribe my channel and stay tuned with SAHOO's tutorial. So here is the first question. Who is the writer of Hamlet and Oedipus? Hamlet and Oedipus was written by whom? Ernest Jones, Erik Erikson, Carl Jung, Harold Bloom. So here Hamlet and Oedipus was written by Ernest Jones. So the first option is right here. So which of the following postmodernist novels is known for its unconventional narrative style? So here is the postmodernist novels is known for its unconventional narrative style, where each chapter is divided into two parts. The former part is written in second person narration, meaning the reader becomes the protagonist. So your options are David Foster Wallace's Infinite Jest, Umberto Eco's The Name of the Rose, or Italo Calvino's Eve on a Winter Night's Traveler, or Vladimir Nabokov's Pale Fair. So the right options here is Italo Calvino's Eve on a Winter's Night, a Traveler. This is a postmodernist work here. And so Eve on a Winter's Night, a Traveler is a 1979 novel by the Italian writer Calvino. Postmodernist narrative in the form of a frame story is about the reader trying to read a book called Eve on a Winter's Night, a Traveler. And each chapter is divided into two sections. The first section of each chapter is in second person and describes the process the reader goes through to attempt to read the next chapter of the book. Here see its reading, and the second half is the first part of the new book that the reader you find. So the second half is always about something different from the previous one. Okay. Moving to the next question. What is the name of the totalitarian state in William S. Burroughs' 1959 novel Naked Lunch? So the famous novel that is published in the year 1959 by William S. Burroughs is Naked Lunch. So what is the name of the totalitarian state here? Anaxius, Anaxides, Anaxandria, or Anaxia. So it was the totalitarian state in William S. Burroughs' Naked Lunch was Anaxia. So here D is the right option here. Anaxia is portrayed here as a totalitarian state in which citizens are subject to spontaneous searches and must keep track of ever-changing documents. So Naked Lunch is a 1959 novel by American writer William S. Burroughs, and this book is structured as a series of loosely connected vignettes. Moving to the next question. What was the name of the experimental theatre, a group founded in 1915 by Susan Glaspell, Eugene O'Neill, and other dramatists in order to change Broadway's control over American drama? So what was the experimental theatre? Your options are here. The Wall Street Theatre Group, no. The Washington Square Players, no. The Actors Studio, no. The Provincetown Players. So it was the Provincetown Players was the right option. Here that was founded in 1915 by Susan Glaspell, Eugene O'Neill, and other dramatists in order to challenge the Broadway's control over American drama. So here D is the right option. Move to the next question. Aristotle equated poetry with music. So Aristotle equated poetry with music, whereas Plato equated poetry with what? So your options are painting, drama, dance, none. So here your right option is here painting. So Plato has equated poetry with painting. Moving to the next question. The end of writing is to instruct. The end of writing is to instruct, and the end of poetry is to instruct by pleasing. Who said this lines? Okay. Samuel Johnson, Dryden, Plato, Sidney. So this was spoken by Samuel Johnson. So here A is the right option. Moving to the next question. Which of the following critics preferred Shakespeare's comedies to tragedies? Okay. Who preferred Shakespeare's comedies to tragedies? Your options are Samuel Johnson, T.S. Eliot, Harold Bloom, F.R. Lewis. So it was Dr. Samuel Johnson who preferred Shakespeare's comedies rather than the tragedies. In his book, that is Preface to Shakespeare, that was published in 1765. Okay, here in this book published in 1765, Preface to Shakespeare, Dr. Samuel Johnson has preferred Shakespeare's comedies to tragedies. Okay. Next question. After his return from the land of Onions, Gulliver refused to let his wife and children what? So disrespect to English horses? No. Ride horse-drawn carriages? No. Touch his bread and drink out of his cup, or communicate with him in English tongue? So it was to touch his bread and drink out of his cup. So C is the right option here. Next question. In which of the following volumes do you find a charming appreciation of the Wordsworth Household by Thomas De Quincey? So in which of the following volumes do you find a charming appreciation of the Wordsworth Household? So Thomas De Quincey has appreciated the Wordsworth Household in which poem? So the Confession of an English Opium Eater, no. Lives and letters far away and long ago, no. Notes on my lake country evenings, no. So it was reminiscences of the English lake poets where Thomas Dickens has appreciated the Wordsworth household. Next question: the preface of James Joyce's magnum opus, that is a portrait of the artist as a young man, is taken from Dante's Divine Comedy, no. Ovid's Metamorphoses, Homer's Iliad, Virgil's Aeneid. So the portrait of the artist preface has been taken from Ovid's Metamorphoses. So B is the right option here. B is the right option here. So the epigraph of a portrait of the artist as a young man is taken from Ovid's Metamorphoses 8. The epigraph sums up the theme of the novel here. The protagonist is named Stephen Dedalus, the surname alluding to Greek myth Daedalus, thus casting the novel in classical mold. And the novel is prefaced with an epigraph from the Latin poet Ovid's Metamorphoses. Next question: one of the most highly revered scholarly and passionate interpreters of English and world literature. He was appointed the Lord Northcliffe Professor of Modern English Literature at University College, London, 1967, and later as a King Edward VII Professor of English Literature at Cambridge, 1974, an appointment made by the Crown at the suggestion of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He was knighted by Queen Elizabeth in 1991, entitled to designate himself as Sir. He never did, but he wrote and his autobiography is entitled as Not Entitled. That was in 1995, and the epigraph to this book came from Shakespeare's Coriolanus, that is, he was kind of nothing, titleless. Okay, who among the following is the writer of the critic? F.R. Lewis, no. I. Richards, no. Frank Kermode or David Lodge. So here the right option is here Frank Kermode. Frank Kermode is the right option. C is the right option here. Next question: which of the following provided theoretical basis for audio-lingual method of language teaching? Audio-lingual method of language teaching. Your options are transformational, generative linguist, cognitive psychology and structural linguists, behaviorist psychology and Bloomfieldian structuralist linguist, or systematic functional linguistic. I think it is actually audio-lingual method of language. So here behaviorist psychology and Bloomfieldian structuralist linguistics. I will have to check it. So it can be C. So I will have to check it. Okay, so C is the right option here. Okay, who among the following characters of the Cherry Orchard by Anton Chekhov dies in the final scene? So Anaya, first, Varia, Lopakin. So here first is the option who dies in the final scene of the Cherry Orchard by Anton Chekhov, the realist writer. In his book, has Leo Tolstoy say that my mental condition presented itself to me in this way, that my life is a stupid and spiteful joke that someone has played on me. War and Peace, no. Anna Karenina, no. The Confession, the Resurrection. So it is the Confession. In this book, Confession, Leo Tolstoy has said that my mental condition presented itself to me in this way, my life is a stupid and spiteful joke that someone has played on me. Next question: who wrote these lines, and in which poem? Yet, if we could scorn hate or fright and fear, not to shed a tear, I know not how thy joy we ever should come near. To a Skylark by Wordsworth. So it is from To a Skylark by Wordsworth. Okay. Now moving to the next question: which is the only prose work of Edmund Spenser? This is Willia Vicar of Wakefield, A View of the Present State of Ireland, Shepherd's Calendar. So Edmund Spenser only prose work was A View of the Present State of Ireland. Next question: Morose and Cute Bird are characters from Ben Jonson's The Silent Women, or Epicoene, or The Silent Women. Okay. Next question. Moving to the next question. Question number 18. Okay. Full fathom 5 thy father lies, of which bones are corals made. These are pearls that were his eyes, but doth suffer a sea change. Are from which Shakespeare's play? So these lines are actually were told by here the Ariel. This is Ariel's song, sung by that Ariel. So it is from Tempest. These lines are from Tempest. Okay. From where does Gaveston arrive in London in opening scene in Marlowe's Edward III? Gaveston arrives in London from France. From France. Okay. Next question: in tracing the history of English poetry, Thomas Gray's Progress of Poesy invokes a major poet as follows: nor second he that wrote sublime upon the surf wings of ecstasy the secrets of the abyss to spy. who is he? So here the right option is your John Milton. So here Thomas Gray is writing about John Milton. John Milton, Progress of Poesy. In Progress of Poesy, Thomas Gray is talking about John Milton. Next question: which of the American novelist is associated with the series of books about Natty Bumppo? Natty Bumppo, or that is an old hunter also called Leather Stocking. So you know it is very easy that James Fenimore Cooper. Next question: in John Dryden's essay on dramatic poesy, Neander defends the English invention of tragicomedy. There are four: Crates, Eugenius, Lycidius, and Neander. Crates was the first person who started the conversation, who was favoring the ancients. So Crates, Lycidius, Eugenius, and you have Neander. And Neander himself is a Dryden, and Neander is here defending tragicomedy. Next question: Aldous Huxley's title Brave New World is borrowed from Shakespeare's the swan song, that is the Tempest. It has been taken the last work, the Tempest. Next question: in John Phillips' The Splendid Ceiling parodies the style of Milton's Paradise Lost here. So John Phillips, the Splendid Ceiling is parodying the style of Milton's Paradise Lost. Next question: The Blessed Damozel, a poem by D.G. Rossetti, which is a Pre-Raphaelite. A poem is about the union of flesh and spirit, frustration, poverty. It does not deal with frustration and poverty. So it is a union of flesh and spirit. So here A is the right option. Next question: Anthony Trollope satirizes the following in his The Warden. Thomas Carroll, Charles Dickens as Dr. Pessimist Anti-Kant, or Dickens as Mr. Popular Sentiment, or both Carroll and Dickens. So here in Anthony Trollope satirizes the following in his The Warden, both of them, that is both Carroll and Dickens. So here C is the right option here. Moving to the next question: Henry Fielding's Tom Jones was dedicated to George Littleton, Bishop Percy, Robert Burns. Henry Fielding's Tom Jones, the correct novel, was dedicated to here George Littleton. So A is the right option here. Next question: in James Joyce's modernist masterpiece Ulysses, which is divided into 18 episodes, which of the following episodes dwells into discussions of Jews? So it is in James Joyce's modernist masterpiece Ulysses, so which is divided into 18 episodes, and which of the following episode dwells into, or there is a talking about discussion on Jews? So it was in episode 2 Nestor. Okay. So in episode 2 Nestor, DG here lectures on what he believes is the role of Jews in the economy. At Stephen Leaf's, DG said that Ireland has ever persecuted the Jews because the country never let them in. This episode is the source of some of the novel's most famous lines, such as Douglas' claim that history is a nightmare from which I am trying to awake, and that God is a shout in the street. God is a shout in the street, and history is a nightmare from which I am trying to awake. Who says this? Stephen Douglas, the protagonist of this novel. How does Gregor die in French Kafka's Metamorphosis? Out of starvation. Gregor Samsa dies. Okay. The Poppy's Plot is about the assassination of King Charles II. Poppy's Plot. Next question: who commented a man would be fool to deliberately stand up to be shot at as a response to hostile reception of his last novel, and because of this he gave up the novel writing? It was Thomas Hardy. A man would be a fool to deliberately stand up to be shot at. So it was told by Thomas Hardy, and he gave up his novels. In which short story and play or poem does the character Willy Loman, the Willy Loman appears in Death of a Salesman, Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman. Next question: who created Archie the cockroach and Mehitabel the cat? That is Don Marquis. Don Marquis has created the characters like Archie the cockroach and Mehitabel. Moving to the next question: who wrote Gentlemen Prefer Blondies? Gentlemen Prefer Blondies was written by Anita Loos here. Moving to the next question. Here C is the right option here. Who wrote the History of Australian Literature? The History of Australian Literature was written by H.M. Green, published in the 1961. History of Australian Literature was written by H.M. Green. Next question: what is Foster's collection? This Foster's collection is Charles Dickens' collection, the largest collection of Charles Dickens manuscripts and proofs curated by John Foster. This is Foster's collection. Next question: what was remarkable about the poet F.T. Marinetti's first that is Futurist Manifesto in Le Figaro? It is actually here it blasted the dead weight of museums, libraries and academics, glorifying the beauty of speed. So C is the right option here. Move to the next question. The story of Transposed Head, dramatized by Girish Karnad in Hayabadana, comes from Kathasarit Sagar, although Karnad went to another author for the retold story. Who is the author? It is Thomas Mann. D is the right option here. Thomas Mann, The Transposed Head. Next question: who said I am afraid there is many spectacles Sword prefers the British Museum to God. It is W. is Warden. W. is Warden told this. Okay. 1934, 1934 Warden group of poetry. Where does these lines occur? And there I saw her wild eyes with kisses for. Okay. And there I saw her wild eyes with kisses for. Hyperion no, Lamia no, Wasteland no, La Belle Dame Sans Mercy. So in this poem that is written by John Keats, is a ballad poem. It's a ballad. In this poem, okay, these lines appear, and there I saw her wild eyes with kisses for. Okay. Next question. In which novel does all animals are equal and some animals are more equal appears in Animal Farm? That was written by George Orwell. Animal Farm. Animal Farm. Next question. In Shakespeare's play does Adam appear in As You Like It? As You Like It. Adam appear in As You Like It. Next question. Who wrote Storm in Chandigarh? It is Narendra Sahgal. Narendra Sahgal has written Storm in Chandigarh. Storm in Chandigarh. Okay. She has also written, okay, novels like Riz Like Us. Riz Like Us. Yeah. Riz Like Us. And that is Storm in Chandigarh. Next question. True wit. Who wrote True wit is what often was thought but never so well expressed? Okay. It was told by actually Pope. Pope's wit. True wit. True wit is what was thought but never so well expressed. It is here. Pope is the right option here. Okay. Next question. Armed Burial was written by whom? Francis Bacon. No. John Ford. No. Sir Thomas Browne. It was Armed Burial. It was written by Sir Thomas Browne. C is the right option here. Next question. Okay. Let's look at this explanation here. This hydrotaphia or urn burial or discourse of the that is sepulchral urns lately found in Norfolk is a work by Thomas Browne, published in 1658 as the first part of two-part work that concludes with a garden Syria. So the title is a Greek for urn burial. Hydria is a large Greek pot, and a taphos means storm. Okay. Next question. In which book Stephen Gosson tells the poets as caterpillars of the Commonwealth and the father of lies? Okay. And there is School of Abuse. School of Abuse. In the School of Abuse. Next question. Okay. Who is a classicist in literature, royalist in politics, and Anglo-Catholic in religion? You know, it is very T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot shows that a guy. I am a classicist in literature, royalist in politics, and Anglo-Catholic in religion. Next question. The 7 types of ambiguity published in 1930 was written by the New Critics. That is William Emerson. William Emerson. Next question. The Castle of Indolence was written by James Thomson. James Thomson. Next question. Emphasizing, this is the last question here. Emphasizing the importance of the following characters. Which of the following writer wrote this? I believe that all novels deal with character, and that is to express character, not to preach doctrine, sing songs, or celebrate the glories of the British Empire. E.M. Foster, Virginia Woolf, Aldous Huxley. So it was Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf has told that I believe that all the novels deal with character, and that is to express character, not to preach doctrines, sing songs, or celebrate the glories of British Empire. So thank you once again for watching this video. Please do subscribe my channel and stay tuned with my channel, and tap the bell icon to get more notification that I will upload in future. And do not forget to share with your friends and tap the and hit the like button as well. Thank you.